Deep among the Rocky Mountains of southern Africa, a strange armored creature moves between the stones. Its body looks less like a normal lizard and more like a tiny living dragon. Covered in sharp, overlapping scales, the Armadillo Girdled Lizard appears almost impossible to attack. But its greatest defense isn't its armor alone. When danger approaches, this lizard performs one of the most unusual defensive behaviors in the reptile world. It grabs its own tail with its powerful jaws. Then it curls its body into a tight circle. Its vulnerable belly disappears completely. What remains is a heavily armored ball covered in sharp spikes. For a predator, swallowing this living shield is almost impossible. This extraordinary reptile lives among rocky outcrops and cliffs across parts of southern Africa. Here, cracks and crevices become its natural fortress. Its body is flattened and heavily armored, allowing it to squeeze into narrow gaps between rocks. A perfect design for a life surrounded by predators. Unlike many fast-moving lizards, the Armadillo Girdled Lizard doesn't depend entirely on speed. Instead, it relies on armor, camouflage, and an incredible defensive strategy. Its brownish coloration helps it disappear against the rocks. From only a few meters away, a motionless lizard can become almost invisible. But movement gives it away. A hungry predator suddenly spots the lizard. The chase begins. The Armadillo Girdled Lizard races toward a nearby rocky crevice. Every second matters. The predator gets closer. But the lizard has one final weapon. It grabs its own tail and instantly transforms into a living armored circle. The predator attempts to bite through the defensive shield, but the lizard's thick scales and sharp spines make the attack extremely difficult. Minutes pass. The lizard remains completely still, waiting for the danger to disappear. Eventually, the predator gives up. The armored circle slowly unfolds. Another escape has succeeded. But armor isn't the only secret behind this reptile's survival. Its powerful claws help it climb over steep rocks and disappear into narrow shelters. During the hottest parts of the day, it retreats into rocky crevices. These natural shelters protect it from extreme temperatures and predators. As the sun begins to disappear over the African landscape, the lizard becomes more active. Its search for food begins. But what exactly does this armored reptile eat? As evening arrives, the rocky landscape begins to cool. The Armadillo Girdled Lizard emerges from its shelter and begins searching for food. Its diet is surprisingly simple. Small insects, spiders, and other tiny invertebrates become easy targets among the rocks. A movement catches its attention. The lizard freezes, carefully watching a small insect crawling across the ground. Then it suddenly lunges forward. Its jaws snap shut, and the prey disappears in an instant. But food isn't the only thing these lizards search for. Rocky crevices also provide the perfect places to find shelter and escape predators. Their powerful claws help them climb across steep rock surfaces. Even difficult terrain can become a pathway to safety. During the cooler hours, several Armadillo Girdled Lizards may gather around the same rocky shelter. These groups can provide extra protection against predators. But living together doesn't mean there is no competition. Males may defend territories and compete for access to females. Two males face each other on a narrow rock ledge. Neither wants to surrender the valuable territory. Their bodies tense as they push against one another. For a small reptile, the confrontation can be surprisingly intense. The stronger male eventually forces his rival away. The rocky territory belongs to him for now. Then comes the most unusual part of this lizard's life. Unlike most lizards that lay eggs, the Armadillo Girdled Lizard gives birth to live young. A female carries developing babies inside her body. This adaptation protects the young during their earliest stage of development. When the babies are finally born, they are already miniature versions of their armored parents. They don't need to wait for an egg to hatch. The newborns immediately face the same dangers as adults. Birds, snakes, and other predators are constantly searching for vulnerable prey. Their small bodies can quickly disappear into cracks between rocks. The landscape itself becomes their shield. But the most incredible defense remains the same. When cornered, even a young lizard can curl its body and grab its tail. The sharp scales point outward like a natural suit of armor. A predator searching for an easy meal suddenly faces a nearly impossible target. Scientists continue to study the remarkable armor and defensive behavior of this species. Nature has created a survival strategy that requires no weapons, no speed, and no escape route. But climate, habitat changes, and human activity are creating new challenges for these specialized reptiles. As another day begins across southern Africa, the first rays of sunlight reach the rocky cliffs. Deep inside a narrow crevice, an armored survivor slowly awakens. The armadillo girdled lizard emerges cautiously. Before searching for food, it scans the rocks for predators. For this lizard, survival depends on knowing exactly when to move and when to disappear. Its heavily armored body protects it from many attacks, but those defenses come with a cost. The thick scales make the lizard less flexible than many other reptiles. Instead of relying on speed, it relies on strategy. When threatened, the lizard's famous defensive behavior becomes its greatest weapon. It grabs its own tail and curls into a tight circle. The predator faces a wall of sharp scales. There is no soft belly to attack. For millions of years, this simple strategy has helped the species survive among Africa's rocky landscapes. Evolution has turned its body into a living shield. But survival isn't only about escaping predators. Finding safe places to live is equally important. Rocky mountains, cliffs, and natural crevices provide the perfect combination of shelter and hunting grounds. This specialized habitat is essential to the species. Habitat destruction can therefore become a serious problem. When rocky refuges disappear, the lizards lose both protection and territory. Illegal collection for the exotic pet trade can also put pressure on wild populations. A species that evolved for a very specific environment can be difficult to replace once numbers fall. Protecting these rocky ecosystems doesn't just save one lizard. It protects an entire community of plants, insects, reptiles, and predators. The armadillo girdled lizard teaches us something remarkable. Survival doesn't always belong to the biggest or fastest animal. Sometimes, the winner is the creature with the most extraordinary defense. And this little African lizard has one of nature's strangest. Wildlife challenge question. What does the armadillo girdled lizard do when a predator attacks? A. It flies away. B. It curls into a circle and bites its own tail. C. It changes color instantly. The correct answer is B. By curling into a tight circle, the lizard protects its vulnerable underside with its heavily armored scales. But this isn't the only reptile with an unbelievable defense. Our next lizard has developed an entirely different way to survive predators, and it may be one of nature's most bizarre tricks. If you enjoyed this armored survivor, subscribe to Lizard Legends for more cinematic wildlife documentaries exploring the world's most extraordinary reptiles. Next, we're heading to the deserts of Africa to meet a lizard that can shoot blood from its eyes when threatened. It sounds impossible, but nature made it real.